Niner fans, the 49ers made a move, a big move. But it's not Brandon Aiyuk news. It is a running back that has been on the Niners before. We had breaking news today. About 20 minutes ago, Matt Breida. Matt Breida's back, baby. The cheetah. Matt Breida. According to Jeremy Fowler, um, Matt Breida is signing with the 49ers. Now, we know that they drafted a running back, Isaac Orendo. He got a hamstring injury. Cody Schrader, undrafted. Good player, good player. You definitely want some speed. It's the preseason coming up. Maybe they need a guy that can just go out there and do what he needs to do in the preseason, give him some action, give him some, reps. Hey, you don't want to get other guys injured, and Matt Breida knows the system. You pick it right up, and maybe he could stick around on the team, or he'd be on, a veteran practice squad guy. I don't know. They got Patrick Taylor, who they brought in also this offseason for Green Bay. Looks like a special teamer. But Matt Breida, man, he knows the team. This is one of Kyle's handpicked guys. You know, he was on this team many years ago. Another undrafted guy. Matt Breida worked his way up, became a very good player for the 49ers, went to the Dolphins, and hey, again, I love the guy. He's familiar with the system. It's the Kyle Shanahan loyalty program, if you will. And he's back, man. It's good to see. I love Matt Breida. He was a very good player with the Niners, underrated type guy. And at the end of the day, bring us more speed. More speed. You can't hate that. The guy knows how to just take off. I remember the Detroit game a couple years ago. I mean, just zooming down the middle of the Cleveland game. First play, breaks it off, touchdown. So, hey, who knows if he's going to get a lot of action with the 49ers, but he's a good veteran that could help guys like um, Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell. Now the Niners are loaded at running back. That's the other thing. The Niners are loaded at running back. You guys, Christian McCaffrey, the man, best running back in the league. And then you have, again, Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell. Now you got Matt Breida, all the other guys, Schrader, Patrick Taylor, Isaac Orendo. You got a wealth of running backs. They could trade somebody. Now it could be a running back that they trade, right? They could trade a Brandon Aiyuk, or sorry, Elijah Mitchell, add him in a package. Jordan Mason. You can also trade Brandon Aiyuk now, can't you? You have a little bit more leverage if you need to trade a running back with the Brandon Aiyuk. Again, that's just thinking outside the box. But Matt Breida, man, definitely makes things a little bit interesting. But they have a lot of running backs. How many running backs are going to make this team? Maybe three, maybe four. You also have Kyle Juszczyk, who counts against, the backfield. So we'll see. Will Matt Breida make the final roster? It's hard to say, but it's a pretty cool reunion with the Niners. Now, again, the other news of the day is Matt Breida, and we're kind of keeping an eye on this situation. There's been so many reports were going on with Brandon Aiyuk. There was the rumors today that said, the Steelers, they're going to trade him to the Steelers, and then Jordan Schultz said that's not happening. That's not a true thing. Like that's been dismissed, right? And then you had a couple of the big insiders. You had Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network said that Brandon Aiyuk is more likely to be traded than extended with the Niners. They said that it's just a matter of time. That's kind of what he was saying. And then you had Tom Pelissero basically reiterating the same thing, like they're looking towards trading him. Matt Barrows, about 2 hours ago, tweeted out that the 49ers are reportedly discussing a potential Brandon Aiyuk trade with multiple teams. So who knows where this is going? We understand from Adam Schefter this morning and Matt Mayoko, he says the ball's in Brandon Ayuk's court. And then Schefter said that there may have been a trade that was kind of set in place, but Brandon Aiyuk didn't like the team. So he said no. So there's so many moving parts. But again, the 49ers now have a little bit more leverage if they do have to trade a running back or Aiyuk, whatever. I'm not saying Brandon Aiyuk is going to be replaced by Matt Breida. That's silly. But if they have to add a running back in the package, right? Let's say that if they have to trade Brandon Aiyuk and they need a running back in the deal to sweeten the deal, you can trade Elijah Mitchell, and now you have Matt Breida. So that's the way I'm kind of correlating this with Brandon Aiyuk. But they don't go hand to hand. But I'm just trying to connect the dots here. But hey, shout out to Matt Breida for returning to the Niners. What do you guys think? Do you guys like Matt Breida coming back to the Niners? I think it's cool. Again, a nice veteran, been on the team a couple years ago. I think he's been off the team for about 4 years now. But you gotta love it, man. You gotta love Matt Breida coming back. That's me. I do. I don't know. What do you guys think? Silent fart says it's a YouTube content creator's dream day with all this Ayuk noise. Yeah, if you're just sitting here cooking up Ayuk, content, you definitely loving today. You know, a cool thing about Matt Breida, he was the first like big undrafted free agent that the 49ers hit. Remember when Kyle Shanahan took over, he used to get all these like late round guys, and we know Shanahan for being this guy that can develop these undrafted players, these late round players. Matt Breida was like the first one. You know, he took over 2017, you get Matt Breida. Nobody knew who the hell he was. And 49ers, Kyle Shanahan made him the guy. And again, he was a undrafted player. Like we talk about Cody Schrader now, like, oh, he could be a star on this team. Like that's the thing. The 49ers are so good at getting these undrafted players. It all started with Matt Breida. So it's kind of full circle. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's take a look at some of these questions. Is it true, Raj, that BA is in Pittsburgh? No, it's not true. It's a rumor. Again, that's one of the rumors of the day that got shot down. They haven't traded him to the Steelers. They're looking to trade Brandon Aiyuk, but they haven't officially traded Brandon Aiyuk. They haven't. But the Steelers report was one of those clout reports, fake news kind of reports. And Tom Pelissero, did you see what Tom Pelissero said today? There was an NFL Network video. It's on Twitter, and basically said Tom Pelissero says Brandon Ayuk was not traded this afternoon. He says yes, there are signs that could change as the saga continues in San Francisco. They broke it down. This is what he said in the video. He says if you choose to listen to people with blue check marks on social media to pretend that they have information, the scam they scam as they do it is to take real information, bits and pieces, and then they try to do the fake thing where they say this is now done, and um, then they just pretend that the 9 things they got wrong didn't actually happen. So he was going in on these, fake news guys like Pretty Ricky and then Cam Marino. So he creamed them today. So long story short, Peter Parker, Brandon Ayuk's not in Pittsburgh. So my man Miss Miles Evans says, is Jordan Mason gonna be running back too? I feel like right now, yeah, Jordan Mason's your running back too. He's been looking really good in camp. They've been trying to feature him a lot more. They said Kyle Shanahan said he wants to kind of give CMC a little bit more plays off, although it's very difficult to because he's so good. Nobody's at that level, so it's hard to take him off. But they look like Jordan Mason's kind of trending in that direction. He's been getting a lot of catches out of the backfield, which is a big thing, right? He's been looking really good in terms of his ability to catch passes. So, interesting, interesting. My man says, leave it to our boy Raj to bring us back down to earth. Protect, yeah. You gotta keep it real. I'm gonna give you the real information. Peter Rao says, do you want to see him go? I love Brandon Ayuk. I hope he stays. But either way, I just want this to get resolved. I want this situation to get taken care of. Now, if they do have to trade Brandon Ayuk, whether he can't come to an agreement or whatever the case is, like I don't want him to go. But if they do, I do hope that they get a really good player in return. You know what I mean? Like if they have to trade him, get someone good. Like we can't get a mediocre player and shit draft picks. If they're going to do this, they need to really get a good package. And I think that's part of it. The 49ers know they need to make sure they get somebody good. As Brandon Ayuk's a really good player. Do I want him to go? No. But I don't like how this whole situation is playing out. I don't like the drama. I'm tired of it. Every year there's drama. I'm sick and tired of the drama. And the other thing is, Brandon Aiyuk, man, he said trade me. He said trade me. The 49ers said, well, we want to reach a deal. Then he says, I want to stay with the Niners. Let's figure it out. They try to figure it out. And remember, he did request a trade. Now the 49ers are trying to trade him. And then he says, no, I don't want to get traded. I want to stay with the Niners. Make up your mind. Make up your mind, my boy. Now I get it. The 49ers let it linger. And that's not fun because when you let it linger, the market value changes. And that's how it goes with the NFL. The market's going to change. And 49ers didn't value that. So you got Aiyuk pissed off. It's a crazy situation. So Julia says, should we prioritize Williams over BA? I mean, Trent Williams definitely is the priority. He's the guy. He's the man. I mean, if I had to choose, I'd take Trent Williams over BA. Like, he is the reason your run game is going to work. He's going to help protect Brock Purdy, keep him upright. You don't really have a guy that's going to be able to take over what Trent Williams does. Now, this is what I got to say on it. I would pay Brandon Aiyuk first, though. I'm not saying you prioritize Brandon Aiyuk, but you need to pay him first because imagine He's gone through this whole contract situation. He didn't get paid. Christian McCaffrey got paid before him. He extended it, and that we didn't even know. I was kind of swept under the rug. Boom! All of a sudden, oh, Chris McCaffrey got an extension. He deserved it. And then now, if Brandon Ayuk has to watch another teammate get paid over him, he's gonna be like, "Bro, what about me? What about me?" And I get it. Trent Williams deserves every dollar, every penny. But for Brandon Ayuk not be pissed off, kind of want to get him paid. Figure this situation out first. Trent's gonna get paid. We all know he deserves it. I think the 49ers know they'd be in trouble without him. So I would pay Brandon Ayuk first. But if I had to choose, gun to my head, and they said pick one, Trent Williams or Brandon Ayuk, I'm taking Brandon. I'm taking Trent Williams. So, AJ says, wait, did you say that BA doesn't want to be traded? Which is it? I'm confused. That is the whole crux of the situation, AJ. It is a very confusing situation. So what happened? Again, we're gonna repeat what Schefter said and the news that's kind of coming out. The news is Brandon Ayuk requested a trade couple of weeks ago when training camp. He's holding in, right? He came to camp, but he's not. He reported to camp. He's not practicing. He's going to the meetings. Remember, he did request a trade. Now the 49ers have set up multiple trades. It looks like they may have had an agreement in place or they're reaching agreement. But because Brandon Ayuk doesn't want to go to those teams that they may have reached out to, I'm just going to throw out an assumption. Let's just say it's the Patriots, right? Let's say the 49ers, they have a setup. We're going to trade Brandon Ayuk to the Patriots, him and his agent, Brandon Ayuk being him, speak with the Niners and say, oh, you're going to trade me to the Patriots? No, I don't want it. That's not happening. We're going to stay in San Francisco. So he'd rather stay in the Niners than go to somebody like the Patriots. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're in this standstill. But then the 49ers don't want to pay him what he wants to get paid. It's a confusing situation. So Peter Parker says the BA requested a trade to pressure the 49ers. I think so. Flood says, I think BA thought requesting a trade, he was playing chicken with the organization and it backfired. And now he will probably end up getting traded. The whole situation is just, it's crazy. He was trying to put pressure on him. He didn't have a lot of leverage. It was a leverage move by Brandon Ayuk. 49ers try to push leverage on Brandon Ayuk. And now we're in this weird, it's an awkward situation. Oh, man. In other news, Peter says, shout out to my man, Patrick Willis, Hall of Fame. Gave a beautiful speech. So, it was. Patrick Willis, man. That was the highlight of the weekend. What a fantastic speech, man. I love the part, my favorite part, where he said, listen, doesn't matter how long you play. It's about the impact of when you play. Because a lot of people criticized him. Remember, he couldn't make the Hall of Fame because he only played 7 years. Oh, my God, he didn't play enough years. But what he said was, you know what, it don't matter how long you play. If you made an impact and you had substantial, ability in those short amount of time, you are a Hall of Famer. So I loved it. It was a great speech. Great. My man Bob says, good evening. Thanks for all your hard work, brother. Can you give me an update on Hufanga? When can we expect them back in the field? That's a great question, Bob. Thank you for the lovely words, the flowers. Talanoa Hufanga is supposed to be back within a week or two. Tomorrow, Kyle Shanahan will address the media. We may get another update. He has been at practice, training camp, not suited up. He's watching on the sideline because he's still on the PUP list, but he looks like he's getting a lot healthier. And again, Kyle Shanahan said this was last week, a week or two. So I'm guessing another week. I'm guessing that he's going to try to come back for the joint practices with the Saints. That's my assumption. So good stuff. Julius says, is it just me or do we trade our first round picks whenever they become stars? Defoe, 4 years later, trader. Aiyuk, 4 years later, to be determined. It's definitely something. Oh, man. Flood says, do you have any concerns about the backup quarterbacks? I just hope we don't have to get to a backup. I'm not hating on Brandon Allen and Josh Dobbs. I think they can handle the offense for a game or two, but if it's a bad situation, if it's a massive injury, then yeah, I'm not gonna be happy. Nobody wants their starting quarterback to get hurt. But I feel like Brandon Allen understands the offense. He's in year 2 of this system. I feel like he gets it. But I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, Brandon Allen could win playoff games with this team, no, I'd be worried if Brock gets hurt. If you have a franchise quarterback and he goes down, that's a big issue. Josh Dobbs, he's okay, but he's not consistent enough to take this team over the hump. So, yeah. So the passer not looking little inconsistent. He's had some moments, but I mean, it doesn't look like oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So we'll see how the preseason goes with quarterbacks. See how they play in the preseason. We'll see how that goes. So my man Miles says if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, I might die. I hope you don't die, but I get what you're saying. It would be frustrating. It'd be a heartbreaker if we don't win. Drip says Brandon Allen masterclass this weekend. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Gun player says we don't really have to trade Aiyuk. We don't have to. I get to that situation if they know they're never going to come to an agreement, you might need to do it. Michelle says I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of the drama too, Michelle. Let's get some Niners football games. Absolutely. Can you also remind me if Hufanga and Mustafa play the same safety position? Yeah, the thing about Hufanga is he kind of does play a similar role as Mustafa, but Mustafa could play both safeties, right? He could play. They're trying to get him a little bit more to play in the box, like kind of like a hybrid linebacker type guy. So we'll see how Mustafa develops, but he could play both safety positions. Hufanga, I think he's more. I think he's better in the box, but they're going to play him as that free. But the thing is, you got a guy in Jair Brown who's so good. You can't deny his abilities on the field. So at the end of the day, man, you got three really talented safeties. I just hope that Hufanga comes back. There's no setbacks with that knee. That's what we want. I like Mustafa, but he's very young, still developing. But I think he's going to become a very good player on this team. So I think we can see them on the field together. Again, the 49ers are going to make sure that they don't rush Hufanga. They don't want him to get hurt. So they'll probably ease him into the team a little bit. You'll probably have him on the field with Mustafa at some time, maybe with Jair Brown. So a little rotation of sorts. So that the kid says, I still think BA remains on the Niners. Just I think if he does go, it's not like he is really going to a winning team. Well, I think that's probably why he doesn't want these trades. They're sending him to potentially New England. But you gotta remember, if you're trying to get like a big draft stash, you're sending him to a bad team. You know, but then at the same time, you're sending him to a team that really desperately needs a receiver. So then in Brandon Aiyuk, you can tell him, hey, look, you're going to get 150 targets, 200 targets, right? With 49ers, he's going to be the fourth option, maybe third option, maybe second option. You know, Kittle's not going to be there forever. CMC is going to be your top dog. And Debo, he may not be there forever. So the way it looks like in the 49ers, he could continue to get more targets, but if he really wants to be that top dog on a team, he might have to go to a bad team. I know he's made it very clear that he wants to go to Washington. Maybe that's where he wants to go to play with his boy. But again, players are trying to dictate. It looks like Brandon Aiyuk's trying to dictate this trade, but that doesn't always happen in the NFL. Usually in the NBA that happens. In the NFL, the teams are dictating. Brandon Aiyuk's trying to take the power back. So again, different situation here than a lot of other trades. Very interesting. So let's see. Gunn says, I don't think Hufanga comes back after this year. He'll probably walk. I don't know. I hope not. I like Hufanga, but it also depends on how he looks this season. Will his knee be up to shape? If he has a good season, maybe he'll get paid more than the Niners are willing to pay. And as we stated, Mustafa is the future. Him and Jair Brown, you might save money and you have two dogs. So you could be right. You could be right with that. So do I think we'll have Demo outside and Green at the nickel or keep Thomas outside? I don't think Ambry Thomas might even make this team. I think you got Demo. He could play inside. He's really good in the inside. He can play outside, but keep an eye out on Isaac Yadam. He's probably gonna be cute cornerback 3. I like Bernardo Green. He'll probably find his way in the mix, maybe at nickel, slot corner. But I got Demo inside, Isaac Yadam on the outside, and then you got Mooney Ward on the other side. So maybe that's how it goes. We'll see. We got to really see how Isaac lines up in the slot. I kind of feel he's better on the outside, but I could see him playing in the slot. And if he's really good in the slot, then you can keep Demo on the outside. But either way, your top 3 cornerbacks right now, Yadam, Lenore, Mooney Ward. So Bob says your favorite trio of Niner linebackers. Ooh, Willis, Bowman, and Spikes. They had Ahmad Brooks too. Yeah, I don't, man. Yeah, honestly, I loved Willis Bowman. You can't top that. You cannot top that. But very close. Green Line, Fred Warner, man, they're fun to watch. It's such a good chemistry out there. And when they had Aziz Al Shahir for a little bit, a great trio. But I'll second that. Bowman, Ahmad Brooks, and Patrick Willis. It's crazy. So, life of Austin. This is the last thing I'll talk about. If the BA situation gets worked out, I wonder how it looks for the fans' perspective. We'd love to have him, but I've seen a lot of people online complaining how he's been going about everything. Well, I mean, that's you know what? This happened with Debo. This happened with Bosa. Maybe not to the same extent. I think BA's is a little bit worse. But fans hated Debo for a bit. They hated Bosa. They really despise those guys. But now we love them. You know, it's just gonna be their image gets shot down a little bit. But it's up to the player to fix their image, right? It's up to the player to fix their image. Debo, man, people hated his guts. Bosa, people hated his guts. He got a lot of hate last year because he didn't play that good to start. Debo, same thing, got injured. So we'll see. We'll see. I think BA initially might be some pushbacks from the fans. I think there might be some pushback from the fans, but I think if he plays good, the bottom line is if a player signs a contract, yeah, there's gonna be pushback. But if they play their ass off, make that money, and say the right things, the fans will love them. It is part of the business, which I hate. It's business. We all know. We all understand it's a business. But eventually, over time, we'll fall in love with that player again. So, my man, C Mac, big C Mac says, get this BA ordeal over so we can focus on the real issue signing Trent. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it my bet myself. Invader says, did you take the cheese? Oh, I don't fall for that nonsense fake Cam Marino report. You know me. You know me. I didn't fall for that cheese. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of this week plays out. Tomorrow, the 49ers are back. Open training camp practice for the last two of the year. And then they hit the road and they're going to play the Tennessee Titans. We'll see how this goes. Again, appreciate you guys for hopping on tonight. The 49ers signed Matt Breida, the cheetah. He's back with the Niners, back in the Bay, the original undrafted free agent that became this like, oh my God, sensation with the team. Shout out to Matt Breida. He is back. Brandon Aiyuk, still don't know what the hell's going on. We'll check up with these updates. I'll be on my phone all night. You guys have a blessed rest of your night. I love you. Bang, bang. Nine gang.